Imagine investing a number 4 pick in the draft on a talent who has been compared to the greatest in the history of the position, and 3 years later, still not knowing if he's going to work out. Now imagine that same player is entering the final year of his contract, with the fans divided, the media's patience at an end, and the future of the Atlanta Falcons franchise at stake. His name? Kyle Pitts. And what's about to happen this season could be decisive not only for his career, but for the fate of the entire Falcons offense. In this video, we'll break down everything that's at stake, the quiet drama behind the scenes, the impact of Michael Penix Jr.'s arrival, the pressure on Terry Fontenot's shoulders, and what Raheem Morris really thinks about his key players. But the most interesting part isn't what's already happened. It's what could happen if Kyle Pitts finally explodes. If you're a Falcons fan and want to understand why this season is different from anything we've seen in recent years, leave a like and comment below. Do you still believe Kyle Pitts can become the star they promised? I want to hear your opinion. What if I told you the future of the Atlanta Falcons may hinge not on a blockbuster trade, a miracle rookie, or even a coaching overhaul, but on a single, polarizing player entering a contract year? It's the kind of storyline that has Falcons Nation divided, edge of the seat intrigued, and frankly, a little nervous. Kyle Pitts. Remember that name? You should. He was supposed to be the guy. A unicorn. A matchup nightmare. Taken 4th overall in 2021, an unheard-of position for a tight end, Pitts was set to redefine expectations. And now, heading into the final year of his rookie contract, he's found himself on NFL.com's infamous make or break list. And let me tell you, there's no in-between anymore. It's hit or miss. Now or never. NFL analyst Nick Shook summed up the mood best, hopeful, but hanging by a thread. Pitts dazzled with a 1,000-yard rookie season, but what followed was less dazzling: 128 catches, 1,625 yards, and just 9 touchdowns combined over the next 3 years. The kind of stat line that, if we're being honest, wouldn't have kept him in the conversation if he didn't have such a high ceiling and tantalizing skill set. And that's exactly what makes this situation so fascinating and volatile. Pitts is no ordinary player. His talent isn't the question. The question is whether Atlanta, with its revolving door of quarterbacks and shifting offensive identity, ever gave him the right environment to shine. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's talk about Michael Penix Jr. The rookie from Washington is set to be the 5th different opening day QB Kyle Pitts has played within as many seasons. Read that again. 5 seasons, 5 starting quarterbacks. That's not just instability, it's chaos for any pass catcher trying to build rhythm and chemistry. Yet, here we are. According to Raheem Morris, Penix has been working closely with Pitts and the rest of the receiving core in the offseason, even if they weren't all on the field together at OTAs due to Pitts nursing an injury. That injury may have robbed fans of seeing their connection early, but Penix insists the work is happening behind the scenes. Is that enough? Is off-season chemistry built in empty fields enough to ignite a breakout campaign? Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot is clearly gambling. $11 million in guaranteed money isn't pocket change, but for a former top 5 pick, it's a relatively affordable lottery ticket. If Pitts finds his form, Atlanta holds the franchise tag as leverage, potentially locking him down for another year or flipping him as a trade asset. If he flops, it's an $11 million sunk cost, an expensive lesson, but not a cap crusher. The team has stacked enough offensive firepower around Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney that Pitts doesn't need to carry the weight alone. But make no mistake, a productive Pitts could be the difference between a good offense and a dangerous one. And speaking of London, Raheem Morris had glowing praise for the third-year wideout. London, according to Morris, has quietly become the emotional engine of the offense, a barnyard bully between the lines, a calm but magnetic presence off the field. He's matured into the kind of leader young quarterbacks need. Penix isn't just working with him, he's relying on him. That bond could open up the field for Pitts, who desperately needs mismatches and one-on-ones to showcase what made him such a high draft pick to begin with. Meanwhile, over in the trenches, a quieter but equally significant story has unfolded. Center Ryan Neuzil finally broke his silence after signing a 2-year, $9.5 million extension with $6.5 million guaranteed. With Drew Dalman now in Chicago, Neuzil steps into some big shoes. Dalman was elite in 2024, ranking 4th among 64 centers in overall PFF grade. But Newsell's story isn't about replacing Dalman's production overnight. It's about trust. 12 career starts, 578 offensive snaps last season, and only 1 sack allowed. His performance was solid if unspectacular, but his reliability and deep integration into the Falcons' culture made the front office comfortable betting on him. Newsell himself highlighted culture as the deciding factor. Staying with the team that developed him over 4 years meant more than chasing higher offers. His familiarity with the system, the players, the expectations, all of that translates to cohesion on the line, which is precisely what a young quarterback like Penix needs. You can't build an offense on chaos. You build it on continuity. And Newsell, though under the radar, could prove to be a cornerstone in that foundation. We're now looking at an Atlanta Falcons team that's more than just a mix of youth and potential. We're looking at a team asking critical questions of its key players and placing strategic bets on their answers. Will Kyle Pitts finally fulfill his promise? Can Michael Penix Jr. handle the pressure of not just starting, but elevating everyone around him? Can Newsell anchor an offensive line good enough to buy Penix the time he needs to develop into a franchise QB? What do you think, Falcons fans? Is this finally the year Kyle Pitts puts it all together, or has the window already closed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And here's where it gets really compelling, because while the national media focuses on Pitts and Penix, the Falcons themselves seem to be embracing a deeper cultural shift. It's not just about XS and OS anymore, it's about identity. Raheem Morris, stepping back into a head coaching role, has made it clear player development isn't a luxury, it's a mandate. When he spoke about why players often make their biggest leaps in their second year, he wasn't just theorizing. He was laying down the blueprint for what he expects from his locker room. Morris painted the picture vividly. In a player's rookie year, the routine is structured to the minute. But in year 2, the training wheels come off. Suddenly, it's on the player to choose how they invest their downtime. Do they hit the film room? Get extra reps? Rest and recover the right way? These decisions, Morris emphasized, are where real growth begins. And that message isn't just for Penix, it applies to every player in that building. Pitts, London, Newsell, everyone. And that's what makes this season so high stakes, not just for individuals, but for the entire Falcons operation. The front office didn't just bring in talent, they doubled down on developing it. Pitts is a perfect case study. He's had every reason to fail, 5 different QBs, shifting playbooks, and injuries. Yet here he is, with the coaching staff, the quarterback, and now the fans watching closely to see if he can finally unleash what everyone saw back in 2021. It's the kind of redemption arc that writes itself. A top pick under pressure, a rookie QB trying to find his voice, a locker room full of emerging leaders, and a fan base hungry for more than mediocrity. That's not just a football story, that's a human story. And it's unfolding right now in Flowery Branch. But what about you? After everything we've laid out, do you still believe Kyle Pitts is the future? Is Michael Penix Jr. the real deal, or just the next name on the QB carousel? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading all of them.